Yesterday, I went long on the NASDAQ and it didn't work out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this trade, my overall thoughts on the indices right now, and whether or not I'm going to try again on getting long on the NASDAQ. Let's jump into it. As we get started with this video, I also wanted to mention today's video sponsor, Vantage. Vantage Markets allows traders outside of the United States to trade CFDs on things like indices, and they offer a very wide list of symbols and a generous deposit bonus, which is linked down below in the description. With Vantage, you can trade even things like US 2000, which is the small cap index with a Russell, which has been on fire recently and something that I personally really like to trade. I know a lot of non-US traders always ask, like, how can I trade the Russell? And this is a great way you can actually do so with a CFD brokerage like Vantage. So check them out down below. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I wanted to talk first of all just about a trade that went against me, and I'm going to be completely honest here. I've not had a stop loss in a minute. I've been mostly pretty dang accurate with my trades recently. That being said, stop outs are nothing to be afraid of, and they're completely part of trading. Profitable trading doesn't mean never losing. It just means winning more than you do lose. So yesterday I went long the NASDAQ, and my thought process was this level of support should hold. I mean, bulls have been so strong along the way up here on this bull market that we've been seeing, and I've made a lot of money on the long side with the NASDAQ trading this exact same entry. But we have to give it to the bears here. I mean, this is actually the most impressive sell-off that we've seen in a minute. If we actually scroll left on the NASDAQ, you can see we haven't had a more impressive sell-off in a one-day period, this one big red candle, in some time. And I actually thought yesterday that we would see the candle not close so bearish. When it did close underneath support, I was already skeptical that the position wouldn't work out. But now what we see is price followed through, and this ended up being about a minus $1,800 loss. So I lost $1,800 on this long position attempt. And I just wanted to break that down because I do talk about my winners on my channel, and I want to also make sure I honor that I honor my audience, and I also show you guys my losers when they don't work out. That being said, let's be constructive. What's next on the NASDAQ and the S&P? And also, is this sell-off isolated to the NASDAQ? No, it's not. The S&P is also pulling back as well. And the question is, do I go long again right now? No, but I think I do like the idea if price does actually follow through to the downside further. My second attempt that I've been talking about here is this level here around 19,500. So if we see a shoot lower here on the day, I will attempt again on this account. Now, let me also talk about that $1,800 loss that I took. On my account, $1,800, it is a large amount of money, don't get me wrong, but on my account size, it's not the end of the world. This was my first attempt, getting my feet wet with an attempt to get long on the NASDAQ. So I will very happily take a second stab, likely at this level. And if I take that trade, it'll be shared inside of our Discord room. If you guys are not already in the Discord VIP service that we offer, you get to see all of the trades that we're taking, like my gold trades or FX trades. I've got a couple running there. The index trades, again, I stopped out on my NASDAQ position here. And you also get to see Frank and Ivan's trades who share theirs there as well. This is currently 45% off, and you might be saying, Nick, why would you try and sell us a Discord group when you just stopped out in front of the world on the NASDAQ? Well, the purpose is because we're looking for real traders who also understand that, nobody is perfect. Nobody's winning all the time. And this is not really meant to be a copy and paste trading service. Our room is meant to be a place for serious traders who want to catch moves with us, trade the markets with us, to join us and see not just the trades, but more importantly, like the full breakdowns behind each and every trade, screenshots, explanations, and analysis. Again, we trade a lot of different things. So if you're not already in there, using the first link down below in the description, you can get access to our VIP membership group. The dollar index is also bouncing slightly higher here off of the lows today. We'll see if that can continue to push higher. We are retesting what was a really big breakout level for the dollar yesterday. So we took out this 104 zone. We're now retesting 104 to see how price reacts as we come into this area. Let's have a look on the currency front for a moment, what this is doing. So for some of my current positions, like the Australian dollar against the US dollar, which I'm long on, It's not doing a whole lot. The Australian dollar seems really strong right now, despite some dollar strength coming into the picture today. And at the same time, I'm also short USD CHF. So a little bit of a bounce here, but still really liking the downside move that we're getting. And my stop loss has been trailed. I'm looking for another opportunity, by the way, on this trade to actually trail stops further into profit. So I'm looking for any sort of lower high, and then I will share the update inside of the membership group. Off the daily chart for USD CHF, I am looking for a break of this 88.40 level, and if that can happen, then fantastic. I'll look to trail stops further. We also see silver breaking support here. I am still bullish on silver, but it may be looking like it's going to retest these lows again at some point. We'll have to watch for silver, but not doing nearly as impressive as gold has been doing recently. Speaking of gold, gold still remains very strong above this level of resistance at 24.30. If we do retest this area, I'm comfortable holding my long position, but if we break that area, I'm going to go ahead and take profits on the move. So I'm looking for gold to either, continue its momentum push here and I'll trail stops further, or if it does decide to, pull back and break down, I'll go ahead and lock in the profits I've gotten. Speaking of the current P&L, these are my 3 positions that I have open. This, by the way, the FXA is just a placeholder for my Australian dollar trade, which is not actually on Webull. Webull doesn't allow you to trade currencies on it, but I'm trading FXA, which is a ETF that tracks the Australian dollar. Outside of that, I'm still long gold. I'm also long TLT. And what's not pictured here is the realized P&L today. So overall, I'm still up about $1,500 on the day, but what's not shown here is about the $1,800 loss, which has closed on the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ. I'm also looking for a pullback on the Russell if I can get it. This is another chart that I'm really interested in. Specifically, I'd be trading IWM, and if I pull this chart up, I'm looking at like the 208 zone if we can get back there, but it's kind of a tall order to fill. On the currency front, the dollar yen fell hard here and is making a little bit of a recovery move today. We'll see where this one goes. And the euro dollar is actually trading above this previous level of resistance, right around the 1.091 level. So we'll see if the euro does a little bit of a bounce and continuation push. We could also take a look at the pound USD. So here's the pound dollar, a little bit of red coming in today. If this one pulls back, you may see some buying on the pullback. I actually am interested in that as well. I touched on the NASDAQ. Let's talk about the S&P 500. Am I buying this pullback? I am bullish on the indices. I'm still bullish. I've been bullish pretty much most of this year, but I've called many times thinking that, calling for a pullback many times, thinking that we could see, the bulls take a little bit of a break. Are we finally going to see that quote unquote break from the bulls? My opinion is that it is due for a bit of a pullback. My first attempt may have been a bit of an early entry, but I do have plans to attempt to buy the S&P and or the NASDAQ multiple times on the way down if it does continue to push lower. My first entry, like I said, was a flop, but I talked about this at length today on the live stream with Miko and Marco, which we'll show in just a little bit. You'll see that clip. So I took my first attempt here at the NASDAQ on the long side at this level. I really like this level, the 20,000 psychological level for NAS 100. I think it has upside. So I've already taken my first step. But just because I think it does not mean I'm certain it will, or, I'm not, a crystal ball owner. So I fully accept that maybe I'm too early. I like the direction, but if I'm too early and I get stopped out, then maybe my next attempt is here. And maybe I try again here. And each time I'm, keeping my stop relatively tight, I still want to see the area react nicely to my idea. But, I often will start these campaigns, quote unquote, for, things that I'm bullish on for me, it's like fundamentals heavy base. Like I'm generally bullish or bearish on something. And then I'm using technicals to try and time my entries. But I imagine fundamentals or not, a lot of traders use something similar. So I guess same question to you, Miko, when it comes to entries or, you mentioned earlier, like you're generally bearish on the dollar. Do you do something similar where you will mark up a couple different attempts, or do you have like, this is my one quality attempt. If it doesn't work out, I scratch the idea?
Yeah, I'm very similar. I will have multiple ideas, sometimes potentially 3.
Okay.
But yeah, my thought process is every trade is its own trade. It's so unique, and every trade will have its edge to it. Some will win, some will fail. So as long as the idea is still at play, whether you expect the market to go up or down, then you're just looking for opportunities to take that idea, because to try and time the market perfectly every time is basically impossible. So whether it will have a shallow pullback or a big pullback, or it will be a reversal, or it will just keep flying or keep falling, we don't know. So even for pound USD, I have a couple of areas marked up for this one being my preferred level, but I can definitely understand that we are very, very bullish, and we could probably push on from here as well. So yeah, I will have multiple levels marked out, and I kind of just, even if win, lose, or draw on the first trade, if the second one comes through as well, I'll take that position too.
Thanks for watching this video, and on the screen right now, you'll see some other options of other videos we put together that might be helpful to you in your trading career. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.